The marketplace on Epsilon Crossing was always busy. Hundreds of creatures from different planets walked through the narrow streets. Some had fur, some had scales, and some looked like they were made of light. The air smelled like strange spices and cooking food from a dozen different worlds. Princess Kiravan stood near a stall that sold colorful crystals. She was only 8 years old, but she was curious about everything. Her skin looked like it was made of crystal, too. It changed colors when she felt different things. Right now, it glowed soft purple because she was happy and excited. Her mother, Queen Velshara, had told her to stay close to the guards. But the princess wanted to see more. The guards were talking to some traders, and Kiravan saw a small shop across the street. It had beautiful flowers that glowed in the dark. She took just a few steps away. That was when everything went wrong. 3 men wearing dark clothes appeared from nowhere. One moment the street was clear, and the next moment they were there. They must have been using some kind of invisible technology. Before anyone could react, they grabbed the princess. She tried to scream, but one of them put something over her mouth. The guards finally noticed, but it was too late. The kidnappers ran into a side alley. By the time the guards reached the alley, the princess and the men were gone. They had disappeared like smoke. Within minutes, alarms were ringing all over the station. Security doors slammed shut. Every guard on Epsilon Crossing started searching. But the kidnappers were professionals. They knew exactly how to hide. 4 hours later, Queen Velshara arrived on her royal ship. When she stepped off, everyone could see her pain. Her crystal skin was flashing between dark blue and bright red. Blue meant sadness. Red meant anger. She was feeling both at the same time. The queen went straight to the security office. The station commander showed her everything they had found. It was not much. The cameras had caught only a few seconds of video. The kidnappers had used some kind of device that made the cameras stop working. All they had was one short clip showing 3 dark shapes running away. Captain Lisa Martinez was on Epsilon Crossing that day for a different reason. She was a human marine officer. Her ship had stopped at the station to pick up supplies. She was walking through the station when she heard about the kidnapping. Lisa stopped and listened to people talking. A princess was missing. A mother was suffering. Something deep inside Lisa's heart started to hurt. She knew that pain. She knew it very well. 3 years ago, Lisa had lost her own daughter. There had been an accident with a shuttle. Her little girl was gone forever. Lisa still dreamed about her every night. The pain never really went away. It just became something she lived with every day. When Lisa heard about the Zephyrian princess, she could not walk away. She found Commander Peter Blake, her superior officer. He was checking the supply inventory. "Sir, I want to help find that princess," Lisa said. Commander Blake looked at her with surprise. "Lisa, this is not our problem. The Zephyrians have their own security forces. They have whole armies. What could we do?" "Sometimes armies are not enough," Lisa answered. "Sometimes you need someone who will not give up. Someone who understands what that mother is feeling." The commander looked at Lisa for a long moment. He knew about her daughter. He knew why this mattered so much to her. Finally, he nodded. "If you can get permission from the queen herself, I will support you. But Lisa, be careful. This could be very dangerous." Getting to see the queen was not easy. Lisa had to wait for hours outside the security office. Finally, a tall Zephyrian man came out. He had dark green skin and looked very serious. This was High Chancellor Tormund, the queen's main advisor. "You are the human who wants to see the queen?" he asked. His voice was cold. "Yes, sir," Lisa said. "I want to help find Princess Kiravan." Tormund frowned. "The Zephyrian Empire does not need help from humans. We are perfectly capable of finding our own princess. Your offer is not welcome." Lisa did not move. "I lost my daughter 3 years ago. I know what the queen is feeling right now. Please just let me talk to her." Something in Lisa's voice made Tormund pause. He studied her face. Then he sighed. "Wait here." 10 minutes later, Lisa was standing in front of Queen Velshara. The queen sat in a chair looking very tired. Her crystal skin was dim, barely glowing. 2 guards stood nearby, and Tormund watched from the corner of the room. "You wanted to see me, human?" the queen asked. Her voice was quiet and sad. Lisa took a deep breath. "Your Majesty, my name is Captain Lisa Martinez. I am a Marine officer from Earth. I came here to ask if you will let me help find your daughter." "We have thousands of soldiers searching," Tormund said quickly. "What could one human do?" Lisa kept her eyes on the queen. Your Majesty, 3 years ago I lost my own daughter. She was only 6 years old. I know the pain you are feeling right now. I know how it feels like your heart is being torn apart. I also know what it means to keep fighting, even when there is no hope left. The Queen's skin flickered. For the first time, she really looked at Lisa. She saw the pain in the human's eyes. She saw something real and honest there. Why would you do this? The Queen asked softly. Why would you risk your life for my daughter? You do not know us. Because no mother should have to lose her child, Lisa said. Her voice was strong but gentle. Because I could not save my own daughter, but maybe I can save yours. Because it is the right thing to do. Silence filled the room. Even Tormin had nothing to say. The Queen stood up slowly. She walked closer to Lisa. The two mothers looked at each other. If I give you permission, the Queen said, you will be in great danger. The people who took my daughter are very dangerous. They might kill you. I understand, Lisa said. And I cannot send official help with you, the Queen continued. If the Zephyrian military goes into certain areas, it could start a war. You will be alone. I will not be completely alone, Lisa said. I have a good team. We are small, but we are good at what we do. Queen Velshara was quiet for another moment. Then she nodded. Very well. Captain Martinez, you have my permission to search for my daughter, but this must stay secret. Officially, I know nothing about your mission. I understand, Your Majesty, Lisa said. The Queen reached out and took Lisa's hand. Bring her home, she whispered. Please bring my little girl home. I will do everything I can, Lisa promised. I give you my word. As Lisa left the room, she felt the weight of that promise. Somewhere out there, a little girl was scared and alone. Somewhere out there, criminals were planning to sell that little girl like she was just a thing and not a person. But Lisa had made a promise to a mother, and Lisa Martinez never broke her promises. She would find Princess Kiravan, no matter what it took, no matter how long it took, no matter how dangerous it was. The search was about to begin. Lisa went back to her ship and called a meeting. She needed people she could trust, people who were good at their jobs, people who would not give up. The first person she called was Sergeant Jake Sullivan. Jake had worked with Lisa for 7 years. He was an expert with computers and technology. If something needed to be hacked, Jake could do it. He was also completely loyal. You want to do what? Jake asked when Lisa explained the mission. I need to find this princess, Lisa said. Are you in or out? Jake smiled. You know I am in. When do we start? The second person Lisa needed was Dr. Amy Richardson. Amy was a medical doctor who also studied alien biology. If the princess was hurt, Amy could help her. If they needed to understand alien technology, Amy could figure it out. Amy agreed immediately. A child needs help. Of course I will come. The three of them gathered in the ship's meeting room. Commander Blake gave them access to all the security files from the station. Jake started working right away, looking at every piece of video they had. Look at this, Jake said after 2 hours. He pointed at his computer screen. The kidnappers used cloaking devices. But cloaking is not perfect. It gives off a special energy signal. Very faint, but it is there. Can you track it? Lisa asked. Maybe, Jake said. He worked on the computer for another hour. Then he smiled. Got it. The energy trail goes to a ship that left the station 6 hours ago. That ship was heading toward the Outer Veil. The Outer Veil was a dangerous place. It was a region of space where no government had real control. Pirates lived there. Criminals lived there. It was perfect for people who wanted to hide. We need a ship, Lisa said. Something small and fast. Something that will not attract attention. Commander Blake found them a scout ship. It was old but reliable. More importantly, it had no military markings. It looked like any other small cargo ship. Be careful out there, Blake told Lisa before they left. The Outer Veil is not a place for heroes. If things go bad, run. That is an order. Yes, sir, Lisa said. But they both knew she would not run. Not if the princess was still in danger. The journey to the Outer Veil took 3 days. During that time, Amy studied everything she could find about Zephyrians. She learned about their biology, their culture, and their medical needs. If they found the princess, Amy wanted to be ready to help her. Jake spent the time hacking into criminal databases. It was illegal, but they needed information. He found names, places, and rumors. One name kept appearing over and over, Drax Krell. Drax Krell was a slaver. He bought and sold people like they were animals. He was also very smart and very dangerous. The authorities had been trying to catch him for years, but he always stayed one step ahead. If Krell has the princess, this just got much harder, Jake said. He has his own private army. He lives in a fortress that nobody can attack. Then we will not attack it, Lisa said. We will find another way in. They arrived at Blackwater Outpost, a space station that floated in the middle of the outer veil. The station was dark and dirty. Strange ships were docked everywhere. The people walking around looked rough and dangerous. Lisa and her team changed their clothes. They needed to look like mercenaries, not military officers. Jake put on a worn jacket and carried a blaster on his hip. Amy hid her medical supplies and tried to look tough. Lisa wore dark armor and kept her face serious. They walked through the station carefully. Everywhere they went, they listened. In places like this, information was valuable. Someone always knew something. In a dark bar at the edge of the station, they found what they were looking for. A drunk alien was talking too much. He was bragging to his friends about a big job. Krell's got something special, the alien said. Some kind of royal girl. He is going to sell her at an auction. Gonna make millions. Lisa's heart beat faster. An auction? That meant the princess was still alive. It also meant they had very little time. Where? Jake whispered. Where is the auction? They followed the drunk alien when he left the bar. In a dark alley, Lisa stepped in front of him. Jake appeared behind him. The alien looked scared. We need information, Lisa said. Her voice was cold and hard. Tell us about Krell's auction. The alien tried to run, but Jake grabbed him. Talk, Jake said. The alien talked. He told them everything. The auction was in 3 days. It would happen at the Black Sun, a huge asteroid that Krell had turned into his personal fortress. Only the richest criminals were invited. Everyone else was killed if they tried to get close. How do we get in? Lisa asked. You do not, the alien said. You need an invitation. You need money. You need to be someone important in the criminal world. Lisa let the alien go. He ran away as fast as he could. She turned to Jake and Amy. We need to become important criminals, Lisa said. We need fake identities. We need backgrounds that will hold up under investigation. I can do that, Jake said, but it will take time, and it will not be perfect. Make it good enough, Lisa said. We have 3 days. Jake worked day and night. He created false identities for all 3 of them. He hacked into criminal databases and added their fake names. He made it look like they had been criminals for years. He even created fake bank accounts with fake money. On the 2nd day, Lisa sent a message to Krell's organization. She said she was a wealthy collector who wanted to bid at the auction. She said she was interested in rare and exotic items. For hours, there was no response. Lisa started to worry. Maybe their fake identities were not good enough. Maybe Krell had discovered who they really were. Then on the morning of the 3rd day, a message arrived. It had coordinates and a time. They were invited to the auction. We are in, Jake said with relief. Now comes the hard part, Amy said. Lisa nodded. Getting into the auction was only the first step. Once they were inside the Black Sun Fortress, they would be surrounded by hundreds of armed criminals. They would need to find the princess, rescue her, and escape, all without getting killed. It was impossible, but Lisa did not care. She had made a promise to Queen Velshara. She had promised to bring the princess home. That night, Lisa looked at a photo she carried with her. It was a picture of her own daughter, smiling and happy. Lisa touched the photo gently. I could not save you, she whispered to the photo, but I can save her. I will save her. The next morning, they left for the Black Sun. They were walking into the most dangerous place in the galaxy, but they were not afraid. They had a mission. They had a purpose, and they would not fail. The Black Sun Fortress was bigger than Lisa had imagined. It was an enormous asteroid covered with metal and weapons. Dozens of ships surrounded it like angry insects. Defense turrets pointed in every direction. Anyone who came here without permission would be destroyed in seconds. But Lisa's ship had an invitation. When they got close, a voice came over their radio. It was rough and unfriendly. State your business. We are here for the auction, Lisa answered. She kept her voice calm and confident. Invitation code 7749. There was a pause. Lisa held her breath. If their fake identity did not work, they would be killed right now. Proceed to docking bay 12, the voice said. Lisa let out her breath slowly. They were in. Inside the fortress, everything was strange. The walls were covered with expensive decorations. Gold and jewels were everywhere, but armed guards were also everywhere. They watched everyone with cold eyes and ready weapons. Lisa, Jake, and Amy walked through the corridors trying to look relaxed. Inside, Lisa's heart was pounding. They were surrounded by criminals and killers. One mistake and they would all die. The auction hall was huge. Hundreds of beings from different species filled the room. They all looked rich and dangerous. Some wore expensive clothes. Some wore armor. All of them had weapons. At the front of the room was a stage. Behind the stage, Lisa could see cells with bars. Other prisoners were being kept there waiting to be sold. Her stomach felt sick. These people were treating living beings like objects. Lisa found seats near the middle of the room. From here, she could see everything. Jake sat next to her, his fingers moving quietly over a small device hidden in his pocket. He was hacking into the fortress's computer systems. The auction started. A tall man walked onto the stage. He had scars on his face and metal implants in his arms. This was Drax Krell, the man who had stolen Princess Kiravan. "Welcome, honored guests," Krell said. His voice was smooth but evil. "Today we have some very special items for sale. Items that you will not find anywhere else." One by one, prisoners were brought onto the stage. Krell described each one. The audience bid huge amounts of money. Lisa watched in horror and anger, but she kept her face blank. She could not let anyone see what she was feeling. Then Krell smiled wider. And now the prize of the day. Something truly rare. A member of the Zephyrian royal family. Guards brought Princess Kiravan onto the stage. She was in chains. Her beautiful crystal skin was dim and gray. She looked scared and small. But even now, even after everything, she stood with her head up. She was not broken. Lisa's hands became fists under the table. She wanted to run onto the stage right now. She wanted to grab the princess and fight everyone in the room. But that would get them all killed. She had to stay calm. She had to stick to the plan. Lisa caught the princess's eye. For just a second, their eyes met. Lisa gave the smallest nod. The princess's eyes got wider. Hope flickered on her face. The bidding started. Numbers climbed higher and higher, millions, tens of millions. Everyone in the room wanted to own a Zephyrian princess. Lisa participated in the bidding, raising her hand a few times. She needed to look interested. Jake whispered to her quietly, "I'm almost in. Just need 2 more minutes," but they did not have 2 minutes. The bidding was getting close to the end. Soon someone would win and the princess would be taken away. Lisa made a decision. She stood up. The whole room went quiet. Everyone looked at her. "Mr. Krell," Lisa said loudly, "I have a different offer." Krell looked annoyed. "The auction is not finished. Sit down." "I am not offering money," Lisa said. "I am offering information. I know where a Zephyrian military convoy will be tomorrow. They are carrying new weapon technology, worth much more than any prisoner." Now Krell looked interested. "Go on." "This is private information," Lisa said. "We should talk alone." Krell thought about it. Then he nodded. "Very well. Come with me. The rest of you wait here." Lisa walked toward the stage. Jake gave her a tiny nod. She had given him the time he needed. Now everything depended on perfect timing. Krell led Lisa to a private office behind the stage. 2 guards came with them. The office was filled with stolen treasures and weapons. "Tell me about this convoy," Krell said. Lisa started talking. She made up details about a fake convoy. Ship numbers, times, locations. She made it sound very convincing. Krell listened carefully, asking questions. Lisa answered them all. Meanwhile, back in the auction hall, Jake was working fast. He had finally hacked into the fortress's computer systems. Amy stood near the stage, pretending to examine the other prisoners. Amy had a special device hidden in her coat. It was a holographic projector that she and Jake had built together. It could make someone look like someone else, but only for a few minutes. It was not perfect, but it might work. Jake typed commands into his device. Suddenly, all the lights in the auction hall flickered. People looked around nervously. Then the lights came back on. In that moment of confusion, Amy activated the holographic projector on herself. For anyone watching, she suddenly looked exactly like Princess Kiravan. She moved quickly toward the stage while the real princess was led down the back stairs. Jake had also unlocked the princess's chains remotely. She slipped away in the confusion. A guard who was actually working with Jake grabbed her and pulled her toward a service corridor. He put her in a large equipment box and sealed it. Amy, looking like the princess, was put back on the stage. The auction continued. Nobody noticed the switch. In Krell's office, Lisa was finishing her story. She had stretched it out as long as possible. Finally, Krell nodded. "Interesting," he said. "If this information is real, it might be worth more than the princess. But if you are lying—" "I am not lying," Lisa said calmly. Suddenly, alarms started ringing throughout the fortress. Red lights flashed everywhere. A voice shouted over the speakers, "Cypherian battle fleet detected. Multiple ships approaching." It was a lie. Jake had faked the sensor readings. But Krell did not know that. His face went pale. "How did they find us?" he shouted. He ran toward the door. "All ships prepare to evacuate. Everyone to their vessels." The auction hall exploded into chaos. Criminals ran in every direction. People were pushing and fighting to get to their ships. Guards were shouting orders. Lisa ran too. She found Jake and Amy in the crowd. Amy's holographic disguise had already failed. Nobody was paying attention anymore. "Do you have her?" Lisa shouted over the noise. Jake pointed to a large box on a hovering cart. "She is in there." They ran toward their ship, pushing the cart. Guards tried to stop them, but everyone was too confused. Weapons fired. Explosions echoed through the corridors. They reached their ship and got inside. Jake opened the box. Princess Kiravan looked up at them with huge, scared eyes. "You are safe now," Lisa said gently. "We are taking you home." The ship's engines roared to life. Lisa took the controls. They launched from the docking bay just as the fortress's defense systems came back online. The real escape was just beginning. Laser fire lit up space behind them. Krell's ships were chasing them, firing everything they had. Lisa pushed the ship as fast as it would go, dodging left and right as weapons tried to hit them. "Shields at 60%, Jake called out. "We cannot take many more hits." Lisa's hands flew over the controls. She had been a pilot for 15 years and she was good at it. She flew the ship through a field of asteroids, using the rocks as cover. 2 of the chasing ships crashed into asteroids and exploded, but 4 more ships were still following them. In the back of the ship, Amy was taking care of Princess Kiravan. The little girl was shaking and crying. Amy wrapped a blanket around her and checked her for injuries. "She is okay," Amy called to Lisa. "Just scared and tired. No serious injuries." "Good," Lisa said. She made a sharp turn and another enemy ship flew past them. "Hold on, this is going to get rough." For 2 hours they ran. Lisa used every trick she knew. Jake worked the ship's electronic systems, jamming enemy sensors and creating false signals. Slowly they pulled ahead. Finally they lost the last enemy ship in a cloud of space dust. Jake checked the sensors carefully. "I think we are clear. Nobody is following us anymore." Lisa relaxed for the first time in hours. "Good. Set course for the nearest safe port. We need to make repairs." They found a small hidden station that asked no questions. While Jake worked on the ship's damaged systems, Lisa went to check on the princess. Kiravan was sitting in a corner, still wrapped in the blanket. Her crystal skin was starting to glow a little brighter now. That was a good sign. It meant she was feeling safer. Lisa sat down next to her. She did not say anything at first. She just sat there, quiet and calm. After a few minutes, Kiravan spoke. Her voice was very small. "Are you really taking me home?" "Yes," Lisa said gently. "We are taking you back to your mother." "I thought I would never see her again," the princess said. Tears started rolling down her face. "I was so scared." Lisa put her arm around the little girl. "I know, but you are safe now. I promise." Kiravan leaned against Lisa. "Who are you?" she asked. "Why did you save me?" "My name is Lisa," she said. "And I saved you because every child deserves to be safe. Every child deserves to go home." The repairs took 2 days. During that time, Lisa stayed close to the princess. Kiravan did not want to be alone, and Lisa understood. The little girl had been through something terrible. They talked about many things. Kiravan told Lisa about her home planet, about her friends, about the things she liked to study. Lisa listened to every word. On the second night, Kiravan could not sleep. She was having bad dreams. Lisa heard her crying and came to sit with her. "Would you like me to tell you a story?" Lisa asked. Kiravan nodded. Lisa told her stories from Earth, stories about heroes and adventures, stories about people who never gave up. As she talked, she started to sing an old lullaby her own mother had taught her. The princess's eyes slowly closed. She fell asleep with her head on Lisa's shoulder. Amy found them like that an hour later. Lisa was still sitting there, still holding the sleeping princess. There were tears on Lisa's face. "Are you okay?" Amy asked quietly. Lisa nodded. "She reminds me so much of my daughter," she whispered. "The way she smiles, the way she asks questions about everything." "You are doing a good thing," Amy said. "You are giving this child back her life." "I wish I could have saved mine," Lisa said softly. The next day, they started the long journey to the Zephyrian homeworld. It would take almost 3 days. During that time, Lisa and Kiravan became very close. The princess started calling Lisa by her name instead of Captain or Ma'am. On the last night before they reached Zephyrian space, Kiravan asked Lisa about her daughter. Lisa had not planned to talk about it, but the little princess was so honest and kind. So Lisa told her the story. She told her about the accident, about the pain that never really went away, about the empty place in her heart that nothing could fill. "I am sorry," Kiravan said. She took Lisa's hand. "That must hurt so much." "It does," Lisa admitted. "But you know what? Helping you has helped me too. It reminded me that love does not end. It just becomes something different. It becomes strength. It becomes purpose." Kiravan looked at Lisa with her big, wise eyes. "You saved me. That makes you like a mother too. A brave mother." Lisa's eyes filled with tears. She hugged the little girl close. "Thank you," she whispered. But their peaceful time was about to end. The next morning, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. "We have company," Jake shouted. 3 ships. "They are coming fast!" Lisa ran to the cockpit. On the screen, she could see the approaching ships. They were bounty hunters. Krell must have put a reward on their heads. "Can we outrun them?" Amy asked. "Not with our damaged engines," Jake said. "They are faster than us." Lisa looked at the navigation screen. There was a huge gas giant planet nearby. The planet had massive storms that created electrical interference. It was incredibly dangerous to fly near. "Hold on," Lisa said. "I have an idea." She turned the ship toward the gas giant. The bounty hunters followed, firing their weapons. Lisa flew closer and closer to the planet's atmosphere. The ship started shaking as they entered the outer edges of the storm. Lightning flashed all around them. The ship's systems started going crazy because of the electrical storms, but Lisa kept going deeper. "Lisa, this is insane," Jake shouted. "We are going to crash." "Trust me," Lisa said through gritted teeth. The bounty hunters followed them into the storm. But their ships were not built for this kind of weather. One by one, the electrical storms fried their systems. The enemy ships spun out of control and were swallowed by the massive planet. Lisa pulled their ship up at the last possible second. They shot out of the atmosphere, damaged but alive. Behind them, the gas giant storms raged on. The bounty hunters were gone. Jake was shaking. "That was the craziest thing I've ever seen." "But it worked," Amy said with relief. Lisa smiled tiredly. "Now nothing is between us and home. Kiravan, you are going to see your mother soon." The princess looked out the window at the stars ahead. Her skin was glowing bright and happy. "I cannot wait," she said. "I cannot wait to tell her about you, about how brave you are, about how you never gave up." Lisa reached over and squeezed the princess's hand. They had made it. Against all odds, against all the danger, they had made it. The Zephyrian homeworld was waiting, and soon a mother and daughter would be together again. The Zephyrian homeworld appeared on their screen like a beautiful jewel. The planet glowed with soft blue and green lights. Cities covered the surface, each one shining with its own bioluminescent glow. It was the most beautiful thing Lisa had ever seen. As soon as they entered Zephyrian space, military ships surrounded them. But these ships were not attacking. They were an honor guard escorting them home. "The whole planet knows," Jake said, looking at his communication screen. "News of the rescue is spread everywhere. There are crowds gathering at the royal palace." Princess Kiravan pressed her face against the window, looking at her homeworld. Her crystal skin was glowing so bright now. She was happy and excited, but also nervous. "What if she is angry with me?" the princess asked quietly. "I was not supposed to leave the guards. This is all my fault." Lisa knelt down beside her. "Your mother is not angry. She has been worried sick about you. All she wants is to hold you again. Trust me." The ship descended toward the royal palace. As they got closer, Lisa could see the enormous crowd below. Thousands of Zephyrians filled the landing area and the streets beyond. They were all waiting to see their princess come home. The ship touched down gently. For a moment, nobody moved. Lisa looked at Kiravan. The little girl was trembling. It is okay, Lisa said softly. I will be right there with you. They walked to the ship's exit. Jake opened the door. Sunlight and warm air rushed in. Lisa stepped out first with Kiravan right behind her. Jake and Amy followed. The crowd was completely silent at first. Then they saw the princess. The silence broke into a roar of joy. People were cheering, crying, and celebrating. The sound was like thunder. At the bottom of the landing ramp stood Queen Velshara. She was wearing her royal robes, but her face showed only one thing: a mother's desperate love. Her crystal skin was cycling through every color imaginable. She could not control her emotions. For a long moment, the queen just stared. She seemed frozen, as if she could not believe what she was seeing. Tears were already streaming down her face. Then Princess Kiravan ran down the ramp. "Mom!" she cried out. Her voice carried over the crowd. "Mom, I'm back!" The queen forgot about being royal. She forgot about dignity and protocol. She just ran forward, her robes flying behind her. She fell to her knees and caught her daughter in her arms. "My baby," the queen sobbed. "My precious baby." She held Kiravan so tight as if she would never let go again. Tears fell from her face like diamonds sparkling in the sunlight. The entire crowd was crying now. Even the tough royal guards had tears in their eyes. High Chancellor Tormin, who had been so cold and suspicious before, was wiping his face. Lisa stood at the top of the ramp, watching. Her own tears were flowing freely. This was why she had done it. This moment right here. A mother and daughter reunited. A family made whole again. Amy put her hand on Lisa's shoulder. They stood together watching the reunion. After several minutes, Queen Velshara finally stood up. She kept holding her daughter's hand tightly. Then she looked up at Lisa. The queen walked forward, bringing Kiravan with her. She climbed the ramp until she stood directly in front of Lisa. The two mothers looked at each other. "You brought her home," the queen said. Her voice was shaking with emotion. "You kept your promise." "I told you I would," Lisa said simply. "How can I ever thank you?" The queen asked. "How can I ever repay such a gift?" Lisa shook her head. "Your Majesty, seeing you hold your daughter again is all the thanks I need. No mother should have to feel that loss. I'm just glad I could help." Princess Kiravan tugged on her mother's hand. "Mama, she saved me. She is brave and kind. She is my friend." The queen reached out and took Lisa's hand. "You are more than a friend to my family. You are a hero. You risked everything for a child you did not even know." "I knew enough," Lisa said quietly. "I knew she was a little girl who needed help. That was all I needed to know." High Chancellor Tormin stepped forward. He bowed deeply to Lisa, Jake, and Amy. "On behalf of the Zypharian Empire, I officially thank you. You have done what many thought was impossible. You have shown us what true courage looks like." Commander Blake arrived with other human diplomats. What had started as a secret rescue mission had become a major event in human-Zephyrian relations. That evening, there was a huge celebration. But Lisa did not go to the big party. Instead, Queen Velshara invited her to a private garden in the palace. The garden was quiet and peaceful. Beautiful flowers glowed softly in the twilight. The two women sat together on a bench away from everyone else. "Kiravan told me about your daughter," the queen said gently. "I am so very sorry for your loss." Lisa nodded. "Thank you. It was the hardest thing I have ever been through. For a long time I thought the pain would destroy me. But it did not," the queen said. "Instead, you turned that pain into strength. You saved my daughter because you understand how precious she is." "I could not save my own child," Lisa said. "But I could save yours. And somehow that helped heal something inside me. It reminded me that love does not end when someone dies. It transforms. It becomes action. It becomes purpose." The queen reached over and took Lisa's hand again. "You will always be welcome here. You are part of our family now. Kiravan will never forget you. Neither will I. And I will never forget her," Lisa said. "She helped me remember why I became a soldier in the first place. To protect people. To make sure children are safe." They sat together in comfortable silence. Two mothers who had been through terrible pain and found hope on the other side. 3 months later, Lisa stood on the bridge of a new ship. It was called the Guardian, and it had been specially built to strengthen the friendship between humans and Zephyrians. Lisa was its captain. Every week, Princess Kiravan sent her messages. The little girl told her about school, about her friends, about the things she was learning. Each message ended the same way. "Thank you for bringing me home. You are my hero." Lisa's rescue mission had changed everything. Humans and Zephyr-Eons began working together to fight slavery throughout the galaxy. Drax Krell's criminal empire was destroyed. Hundreds of prisoners were freed. The story of the brave human mother who refused to give up became famous across the stars. Other species heard about it. They learned that humans were not the strongest or the most advanced, but humans had something special. They had courage. They had compassion. They had the ability to never give up, even when things seemed hopeless. Back on Earth, a memorial was built. It honored all the children who had been lost. At the bottom, there was a quote that Lisa had written. It said, "Love never ends. It transforms into action. It transforms into hope. It transforms into the strength to save others." Lisa visited that memorial whenever she was home. She would stand there thinking about her own daughter, thinking about the princess she had saved, thinking about all the children who still needed help. The pain of losing her daughter would never completely go away. But it had become something different now. It had become a reason to keep fighting, a reason to keep protecting others. And whenever Lisa felt tired or discouraged, she would remember that moment. That perfect moment when Princess Kiravan ran into her mother's arms and cried out those beautiful words, "Mom, I'm back." That moment made everything worth it. That moment reminded Lisa why humans were special. Not because they were the strongest or the smartest, but because they cared, because they would fight for others, even strangers, because they believed that every life mattered. And as long as there were people like Lisa in the universe, there was always hope. Always a chance for happy endings. Always someone willing to fight for what was right. That was the human way. And that was why across the galaxy, when people told stories about heroes, they often told stories about humans. The end.